Hello everyone, myself Dr. Devendra Singhal. Today I will give you the lecture on laser. Before starting this topic, I want to introduce you a daily routine example. You have seen the simple torch and you have also seen the laser torch when you were in your early age. When you throw both of lights, laser light and ordinary light source, on a wall or your room, what you observe? The ordinary light source diverges at all and laser light source is focused on particular point. This is the beauty of laser. It is very focused. Basically, laser is a device which is used to produce the light wave of the following properties. Monochromatic, the light coming from the laser source is always monochromatic, means it has single wavelength. Second property is coherent. The phase difference of light coming from laser source always constant, highly directional. And next one is highly intense. The laser light source is very intense light source. Basically, laser stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Laser is based on the principle of stimulated emission of radiation. To understand the laser actions, its threshold conditions and some other properties of laser and its process, in order to understand laser action, let us consider two energy levels of a quantum mechanical system, say mth and nth energy level as shown in figure, that is in next slide. When a photon of a particular frequency interact with the system, there are three types of optical phenomena may occur. Absorption, spontaneous emission, and third one is stimulated or induced emission. I will explain you all these three process one by one. We start one, absorption. In this figure, EM and EN are two energy states and the solid sphere show in EM is lower energy state and EN is higher energy state. We are considering two conditions in this figure, before transition and after transition. When a photon of particular frequency, as we know that the energy of photon is h nu, okay, nu is equal to En minus Em upon h, interact with an atom at ground level. Here h is Planck constant. This atom transit in higher energy state. This photon of energy h nu will absorb. As a result, the atom makes a transition from lower energy state m to higher energy state n. This process is called absorption, means atom absorb the incident photon. It is represented by A plus H nu arrow A star, where A star represents atom in excited state. The rate of transitional probability Pmn is proportional to the intensity of incident photon. So we can write Pmn whole bracket subscript, in subscript we put small a, means absorption, is proportional to I nu. As we know that intensity is equal to the product of energy density and the speed of light, then we can write I nu is equal to C into U nu. U nu is energy density. Hence Pmn A proportional to U nu. We know that we use some proportionality constant to drop the proportionality symbol. So Pmn A is equal to Bmn U nu, where Bmn is called Einstein coefficient for absorption. If Nn is number of atoms in state M, then the number of atoms going from state M to state N per second will be Rmn A is equal to Nm Bmn U nu. Now we move to second process, that is spontaneous emission. In spontaneous emission we show two figures. Left side show Mn is lower energy state, En is higher energy state, energy in higher energy state. Initially atom in higher energy state. The atom has very small mean lifetime of the order of 10 raised to the power minus 8 second in excited state. After that it is spontaneously emits a photon and falls to lower energy state, that is shown in figure reside in right side. This process is called spontaneous emission, and this is represented by A star arrow A plus H nu. The probability of spontaneous emission will depend on two energy levels between an atom makes the transition. Thus, according to spontaneous emission, the rate of transitional probability Pnms is equal to Anm, where Anm represent Einstein coefficient for spontaneous emission. If Nn is number of atoms in state N, then the number of atoms going from state N to state M per second will be Rnms is equal to Nn Anm. We have to write N first and after that M, because the atom is coming from N state to M state. Okay, now we come to third process, that is stimulated or induced emission of radiation. We show this in these two figures. Left side state M, state N is a upper state, photon has energy h nu, initially atom in excited state in state N. While Einstein was studying the interaction of photon with this atom, he proposed that it is not necessary that atom may always be absorbed. It can also interact with atom in the excited state and induce that atom to emit a fresh photon. Such a process of emission is known as stimulated or induced emission. This process is represented by A star plus h nu arrow A plus 2 h nu. In this case, we get two photons of same energy. In the case of stimulated emission, the transitional probability will also depend on intensity of incident radiation. Hence, Pmn I represent induced because we have already used S for spontaneous proportional to u nu. This implies Pnmi is equal to Bnm u nu, where Bnm is called Einstein coefficient for stimulated emissions. We can understand these two processes by figures. First one, the photon is absorbed when the atom in ground state. In second, spontaneous. The lifetime of atom in excited state is 10 raised to power minus 8 seconds. After that particular time period, the atom comes to lower energy state by emitting a photon. And third one is stimulated or induced. It is not necessary the atom will always absorb, the photon will always absorb by atom in ground state. It can also absorb the atom in excited state. That is third process. Thus, the number of atoms going from state N to state M per second for stimulated emission Rnmi is equal to Nn Bnm u nu. In thermal equilibrium, the rate of transitional probability by absorption is equal to the rates of transitional of atoms by total emission of radiation. Hence, we can write emission rate upon absorption rate is equal to Nn Anm plus Nn Bnm u nu upon Nm Bmn u nu. Or by simplify, we can also write this expression as Rnm upon Rmn is equal to, we can take Nn common in numerator, Anm plus Bnm u nu upon Bmn u nu into Nn upon Nm. But we know that Bmn is equal to Bnm, means number of atoms absorbed is equal to number of atoms emitted. Then we can write Rnm upon Rmn is equal to Anm upon Bmn u nu plus 1 into Nn upon Nm. For laser action, two conditions must be satisfied. Number one, the emission rate must be higher than absorption rate, and number two, the probability of spontaneous emission must be smaller than the probability of stimulated emission. So we can write A n m is very less than B n m u nu. A higher probability of stimulated emission can be achieved by two methods. Number one, the energy density must be made very high, and number two, capital A upon capital V made V must very small. But second method is favorable to us because the laser has already very high energy, and to increase that energy, that is much problematic. So we use second method. To minimize the value of A upon B, metastable of higher energy is chosen for stimulated transitions, because transitions from metastable states by spontaneous emission are not allowed. We can define metastable energy states as there are certain energy states whose lifetime are much longer, of the order of 10 raised to the power minus 3 second, than the lifetime of usual short-lived of the order of 10 raised to the power minus 8 second excited states. Such relatively long-lived excited states are called metastable energy states. On applying condition A and B on equation 4, we can get R nm upon R mn is equal to nn upon nm. If we see the previous slide and look at equation number 4, we can see that when A upon B is minimized, means approximately 0, then 0 plus 1 is 1. So we can write this equation as R nm upon R mn is equal to nn upon nm. We know that from Maxwell Boltzmann distribution law, capital N is equal to n0 exponential minus E upon kt. We can write this expression for energy state m and energy state n. Nm is equal to n0 e to the power minus em upon kt, and nn is equal to n0 e to the power minus en upon kt. Putting these two values in equation 5, we get Rnm upon Rmn is equal to exponential minus exponential minus en minus em upon kt. Then you move to population inversion. Then it is clear from equation 6 that under normal condition of thermal equilibrium, the number of atoms in ground state is higher than the number of atoms in excited state, because energy in lower energy state is less than excited state. Hence, there is a very small number of stimulated emissions. It is also clear from equation 5 that if, however, by any means, a large number of atoms are made available in higher energy state, stimulated emissions can be enhanced. The situation in which the number of atoms in higher energy state exceeds the number of atoms in lower energy state is called population inversion, and the method adopted to achieve population inversion is called pumping. There are various methods of achieving population inversion, like optical pumping, that is used in UV laser, electric discharge, that is used in helium neon laser, chemical pumping, gas dynamic pumping, at all. So these are the various methods to achieve population inversion. This is all about laser and its working principle. Thank you.